G'day everybody and welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host Drew Agnew and the doors, episode 272 are open. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about what we've been playing and just having a good old time. My good friend Josh, or JT if you like. Josh, how you going my friend?
Doing pretty well, mate. Drew, I'm a little tired. I've had a few days away. Not much gaming or anything like that, but had some fun. Had today off work. Just come back from Melbourne, actually, with a few mates.
Yeah.
So, big lads trip over there to watch some footy and have some fun over there, have some drinks and hang out with the guys, because we don't really do it a lot the older we get. We get to that stage now in life where it's a bit harder to get everyone together, but I had a really good time.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm sorry about the results for the footy match though. That's a bit unfortunate. Your beloved
Yes.
Crowies getting
I had,
bloody
Crows.
rolled over by the umpires again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that anymore. I keep looking at the replay and I don't think it's there. I was at the game and I thought there was another call that they'd made for a Crows free kick, and I thought that a previous call had denied that from happening, but I don't think that was the case anymore. It's just Crows just can't win the close games, and Collingwood are too good at it. So it's frustrating. We've lost to them the last 3 games by under a goal, so we just can't quite beat them. We're good against them, just can't do it. So yeah, it sucks. But I was at the MCG, and it's always cool to be there. I hadn't been there for a few years, so I just love being there. That's like the home of football, and yeah. I'm glad they played. I'm glad they played well. I'm trying to take the positives here, Drew. I don't know. I'm pretty devastated actually.
It's funny. I was sitting on the toilet. I was on Discord, and a little notification at the top pops up. Nintendo Vanity's posted a few photos, so I pop over there and I'm going through. There's some smiling boys, including you, Josh, having a look at the footy, and I knew what the results were, and I knew what sort of the banter was in the background. I'm like, oh, you poor boy. You go over there, but it's about the experience you had along the way. I can tell that you've lost your voice, so you've been on you've been on the beers, you've gotten on it, which sounds good. So now you're putting up with the consequences. Hopefully the hangover and all that wasn't too bad today.
I'm surprisingly good actually. Yeah, you can definitely tell with the voice, so that's definitely not great for podcasting, but Powerades were our saving grace. So we were buying 2 for $6 at the local Woolworths Metro, whatever it was, downstairs from us. So we're having them after the big nights, and that saved me the next day, because I felt pretty good actually both days after the big nights. So advice to those out there: just make sure you hydrate yourself, but to the Powerades are the way to do it. I reckon that's makes it a lot easier.
What's your go-to Powerade color? For me, it's blue. I always love the blue ones, or either that or it's red. You like blue? Yeah. Blue's
I like
nice.
blue. Gatorade have just done like an apple flavored one, and I really rate that. So I usually get Powerades, but if whatever's on special, I get. And then Gatorade, they got some weirder, different flavors. So I'll just try them out every now and then. But apple, I actually rate that. So if you see that in your local store, pick that one up.
Yeah, I'll try the apple Gatorade. Hey,
Yeah,
we might have a sponsorship one day, like brought to you by an apple Gatorade. Get on it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, you need to hydrate to play your Nintendo Switch games. Like,
that's right. We'll just be
gaming
playing.
on the go,
man.
You need to hydrate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we never stop, man. We're always drinking apple Gatorade. We're gaming. We're switching. We're doing everything around here. It's hard work.
I muted myself. When I'm Nintendo switching, I need to Gatorade myself. And apple flavor is how you do it, man. That's how you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I just remember when I was like, I haven't, I don't think I've had like a hangover or anything in a while. I don't drink that much anymore. But when you go into the parties and stuff, when I was probably like 6 or 9 years ago, whenever it was, I remember like drinking that much Powerade, but it doesn't help. It made me sick. So I remember like throwing up blue. So I make sure if I'm real sick, I don't have red. Otherwise, I'm going to throw up red, and that grosses me out real bad. It's like, do I have a real gut issue here, or have I just bloated myself on Powerade? So,
I agree with you. There's less questions if it's blue because you're like, I've just eaten something blue because nothing's really natural is blue. I had one bad experience with a purple flavor. From like I did a run and then I had a purple Powerade, whatever, and it just did not agree with me, and so I've never touched that flavor again. Like, no, it's not worth it. It might be really nice now, but no, I just won't touch it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm not a purple Powerade guy, but it is what it is. Oh, man,
don't think there's many.
Making me thirsty. I was talking to you before the show, Josh, but I literally, just for the listeners out there, I literally have a bowl of ice cream sitting here. We'll see how runny it gets over the duration of the podcast, but I didn't have quite enough time to mung into it before the show started. But
it's all right. I told you can eat it. Maybe if I'm rambling on at one point, just sort of like quickly shovel in a spoonful, and for those watching, they get to see it. But see if anyone listening, whether you can mute yourself when you start eating the ice cream. I think you could do it.
Yeah, I just need to think of something that will get you like on a real ramble, like just go on for maybe like 5 minutes or so, and I'll just be sitting here just like eating the ice cream.
You just need to drink it at that stage. It'll be all melted just to guzzle it.
Yeah,
down.
just pour it in. Yeah. That's crazy. Did you even just for the sake of I guess our little gaming podcast here, did you pack the Switch? Did you have any intentions whatsoever, or did you know it was a boys' trip? Leave the Switch at home. Michaela can use that bad boy, and it's all about the social interactions.
Yeah, I left the Switch at home. I did think about it for a second, but I mean, there was 5 of us on the trip. I was flying over with the 2 of them. The other 2 were already there or catching a different flight. So I was never alone, really. And I wouldn't have had time if I brought it. There would have been no time. So it was just, I'm glad I didn't take it because, when you overpack, it was only for
100%.
2.5 days we went for. And we took today off to come back. But you overpack and you unpack your bag and I didn't even use this. Like, why did I take this with me? Stuff like that. So I was trying to be good with it this time, and I think it was all right. Better than usual, I reckon. But the Switch would have gathered some more dust, I reckon, if I brought it with me. That's all right. Little detox, little weekend away. I thought that was because I'm usually on my Switch most days, aren't I? So it's probably good to get my hands away from it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm usually somebody who definitely overpacks, especially when it comes to like tech. Yeah. I've got like a tech backpack. So like when I went to Adelaide that time, I was only up there for a night, but I'd like pack the Switch, Steam Deck, iPad, chargers. I chucked in the analog pocket just in case there was like Game Boy Advance games I want to test at the event. So I chucked that in. So I had literally 5 things or whatever that I needed to, but I had to play games on. I think I ended up just like getting to Adelaide and watching YouTube in bed just before I fell asleep.
You text so good though, and then and I see it at PAX as well, and you've got everything, and then you might have an idea, but then you have it. Because I reckon you've done that a few times. You're like, hey, I might actually use this now, and so you actually go through your arsenal of tech gadgets, and you find it, and away you go. So it's for those moments, isn't it? This is what I need it for.
Yeah, like I'm trying to be like Go Gadget or something. Like, I've got just the thing. A bit of MacGyver in there as well. Got my rubber bands and my screws and all that. I can wrangle up anything. If I want to play a game,
you really do.
Got the system for it. Yeah. But how's the week gone before that? Have you gotten much time to game? Any Hollow Knight progression? Anything on that front?
Not really. I don't think I've played it much this past week. It's just been getting ready for this weekend, and then had a few things on during the week. I had my boss in from interstate, and so we had a night out with him and some colleagues and other things like that. So I haven't touched a PlayStation last week. In terms of the Switch, not really much either because of the weekend out. Did play a bit of Alleyway though with the NSO drop the other midweek, so that was good. I I like Super Mario Land. And Super Mario Land's quick and easy. You can get that done in an hour, and like no drama there. There's just something stupid that I like about Alleyway because it is just you are a platform. You got to make sure the ball doesn't go past you, and you literally just relay against the keep hitting the ball, making sure it hits all the blocks and remove them. I don't know. I just it is such a stupid fun game for me. I just like this is easy, just relaxing, just go for the high score, a bit of an arcade kind of feel. Um, yeah, and it's just one of those like launch titles with the Game Boy that always interested me. So I was very keen for this to come to NSO, and so I had some fun with that the other night. I played that for a little while and tried to rack up some good points with it. I think you're the other way. You're Super Mario Land, weren't you? I think you smashed that one out.
Yeah, I actually did both of them. I sat down
nice.
and yeah,
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that Mario Land wasn't there beforehand, but it's kind of cool because Mario Land 2, the improvement is just so drastic.
Unreal.
It's not even funny. Like it looks like Mario Brothers 3 and just in black and white. Like it's incredible.
Like, how is this the same console? Like you look at it like the change. It's like, oh, they finally worked out how to utilize the Game Boy hardware at that stage.
Yeah, it's incredible. But there is something to just having a really basic Game Boy version of Mario that looks basic, plays basic, but still has the charm that Mario brings. So it was a lot of fun just going through that and having all the filters as well. I just have whatever the default filter is. I don't have like the green or anything on. I know some people like putting the Game Boy Color filters on as well. I just have the standard one that it launches in. But yeah, quite enjoyed just bopping through it. It's pretty cool. Done it like a few times on 3DS and stuff, but yeah, it's nice to do it on Switch. Play it with an analog stick because I don't have a D-pad. It's always fun.
Yes. I don't know. It's just one of those times you get your weird third-party peripheral Joy-Con maybe that's got a D-pad and away you go. But I'm trying to work out what filter I've got. I think I've just got the standard one like you. No, I've got a Game Boy Color.
Okay.
So there's the Game Boy with the red green. Then you got the Game Boy Pocket, which is a bit more neutral, and then Game Boy Color.
Yeah, I got the Game Boy Pocket one on.
Okay. So that means it's just black and white for the Game Boy games, or that standard one.
Yeah,
and then when it is color, Game Boy Color, or is it always black and white for you then?
Yeah, it's always black and white. Yeah. And the
Always
Game Boy
black and
Color one, I assume, is in color. Whatever variation, if the game utilized it or not.
Yeah. Nah, nice.
Yeah. I really did enjoy playing Alleyway as well, especially with Nintendo Switch Online with the rewind feature. Like the ball goes out.
No.
Rewind it back.
No, that's cheating.
I know it's cheating, but I just sat there listening to a podcast and I just like, it's amazing. Like there are some games that really do just turn you into a zombie. I think a lot of people experienced that recently, like Vampire Survivors. You just sit there. And you just stare at the screen and then like you die like, no, just one more game. Then like a bunch of stuff pops, like, oh nice. And you die. Oh, just one more game. I can take that horde this time. And listening to a podcast as well. So I'm probably paying like, I don't know, 50% of my attention on the game. And it goes out. I'm like, no, it's not out. It's not out. But you just correct it and you just keep going. So I didn't even lose a life. Look, I'm not trying to trick anybody. I'm not trying to say, hey, look how good my high score is or anything.
Yeah,
None of that. But I just wanted to see how many stages there were and get to the end. And 25 stages later, a little Mario face pops up saying, good on you, mate. I'm like, oh, thanks. That made me feel good.
I mean, I probably will never experience that unless I do it that way. So it's I was surprised by there was a bit of Mario and Luigi kind of infusion to it. I thought that was cool. I enjoyed that because I wasn't expecting those little Easter egg, I don't know, little tidbits of Nintendo hat tipping to occur. And then what does the platform get really tiny at the end? Must get really tiny because I noticed it was getting smaller and smaller.
Was it? I actually didn't notice it was getting smaller.
It was. It was getting smaller. Yeah.
Okay. I honestly didn't notice that. Yeah.
Okay.
I quite like the brick breaker games. to be honest. I think they're quite fun to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alleyway was good. I forgot what it was called. It's really, I've heard it like I played it. It's from the guys that do Sacred Symbols. They do a brick. They had a brick breaker probably 3 or 4 years ago, and sort of the difference there is like in later stages, it had you're able to have like 2 platforms and you use both sticks as each platform. So that sort of like split your brain in some wacky ways. That's the one, Twin Breaker. Thank you very much. Yeah. Twin Breaker was a really good one.
Seth as well. Guessing it in the chat.
Oh, hello, Seth. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why that escapes my brain. Usually when I record a podcast late at night, I can't remember things and it frustrates me. But lucky we do it live. Otherwise, I'll just be sat here.
Nowhere to hide, mate. Nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to hide.
This looks cool. Okay. Oh, here we go. I know. A week ago, you're like, what rabbit hole am I going to go down into, Josh? And it's brick breaking games. That's just, I love this.
Yeah.
So
no, I definitely recommend it.
Said. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's sort of like later on the levels get a bit more trickier and then you're controlling 2 paddles at once. And there's like a bit of a story in there. The guy who wrote it, Colin Moriarty, he just like has like a real fascination with like generation ships. And his sort of idea was he thought it'd be funny to put a really deep story into a brick breaker. So you can just ignore it. But if you want to pay attention to it, he's put a fair bit of effort into like like the whole story, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, brick breakers are cool. It's nice to go back to Alleyway and try it out. But did you play baseball? I jumped into baseball. I'm like, no, I can't do this.
I haven't yet. I have seen I've had no urge really to do it. So I saw the trailer. I think I figured like I got what I think the game's about from that trailer. So is it what was it like for you? I suppose probably a 5 minutes little crusade for you.
It actually, I probably played it for like 20 minutes. Like honestly, I gave it a crack.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And
that's pretty good.
And you know, it's basic baseball, and you're swapping between throwing and batting, but like the timing for the bat, I never worked it out what the timing was to actually hit the ball. And like say like on my 3rd go, so I didn't get the 3rd strike. I would have missed. So I just rewind it, have a go again, rewind it, have a go again. But eventually I hit it and whatever. But for some, like the fielder was always just fucking exactly where my ball was going. I'm like, and then when I'm throwing the ball and the CPU hits the ball and my fielders are nowhere near where the ball's going. And I'm like, come on. So after about 20 minutes, I gave it a crack. I was just listening to podcasts at the time, just chilling out at night. And I'm like, yeah, well, I think I'm done with baseball. I think I'm done.
You tried
I looked on how long to beat, and it said about 2 hours. I got no idea what the win condition is for like the baseball game. Do you just play one game of baseball? Is there a tournament?
Are there credits?
I'm not sure.
Like, how does it work? Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I didn't pay that much attention to it because I just went into like a quick play, and that was enough. That's all I needed was a quick play.
Yeah, it could be one of your 50 games to finish for the year as well, like a bit of low hanging fruit. 2 hour.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll go through this in 2 hours just to see, and you realize after 20 minutes, it's pretty rigged. That's what I'm hearing. That it's not gonna happen for you.
Nah, yeah, that's like these Game Boy games. You get a bit of announcements. Oh, it is a bit of like a low hanging fruit. Like, I'll just pick one of them. I was playing some Alleyway and some Mario Land, and we got 2 little check marks on the list there, which was quite nice.
How many games have you done so far this year then? What are you up to?
Up to 22. 22.
And you want to do 50 this year?
Yeah.
Oh, you're well on your way. You're ahead of schedule.
Yeah. I'm ahead of schedule, and I literally probably finished nothing in 3 months or 2 months. Like I just didn't play many games. It was don't know. I just go through long droughts of just like, all right, I'm not playing anything, and it's not even out of like, oh look, I'm having a break or whatever. It's just I don't pick up anything, or maybe I'm playing games that don't have an end or whatever have you. It's just It's just what it is. It's how it is. I think a lot of people go through it, but it's frustrating for me when I was so far ahead. I could have if I was on pace, I probably would have finished 50 games before halfway, before the end of June. Which in some ways, with the new baby coming, I'm like, kind of need to be ahead in some ways. But
that's true. You probably need to. Yeah. So yeah. What do you do you like before you get to July? Then do you like want to get 60% done or something? Because you're like, I think 40 in the 40s now.
Yeah, I think so. We are actually booked in for a date. I won't say on just on air, but we are booked in for a specific date for a cesarean at the end of the around that date. So yes, so we've got a pretty specific date. Yes, so it's going to be full on, and I assume I'm able to say this. I saw this in the Discord just before we went live. I assume he put it in the Discord, so I assume it's okay to say it on this podcast if it gets hundreds of downloads, hundreds of thousands even. Josh. So many people will see it.
Yeah, it does. Though.
Yeah. Our friend Zach runs a wonderful podcast, Blowing Cartridges. He posted a pickup from the Pokemon Center in Japan that his wife made on a recent trip. And in there was some baby stuff. I'm like, oh, that's very cute type of thing. I didn't want to make any assumptions, but he went on to say that, yes, they are expecting a baby. So massive congratulations to Zach and his wife. How exciting is that?
Oh, I apologize for missing all this, man. I've been away. So, oh, man, that's very, very happy for him. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's great.
Joining the House of Mario Dad Club. We got some dads in the House of Mario now.
That's great.
Yeah. Some dads. Yeah, no, exciting stuff. So, yeah, man.
This is awesome. Congratulations. That's so good news.
He posted, he said in there as well, like, any advice that would be like good type of thing. I was thinking like what type of dad advice I'll put in there, but I'll just say, look after your wife, make sure she's comfortable and all that, and enjoy it. Enjoy the late nights. Enjoy the little tiny little baby in your arms because they get big. My son Lucas now, I remember being able to just hold him on my forearm with his head just in there, and I could just I'd probably chuck him on the roof if I could. Like he's so light and small, but now, my God, he's 15 kilos now. He's like a sack of. I think a bag of dog nuts for working dogs is 20 kilos. So he's almost a bag of dog nuts.
Yeah, bag of dog nuts. Sorry, I'm trying to think. How does that? 15 kilos. Yeah, they grow so fast, though, don't they? Like he probably doesn't feel like a baby anymore because he really isn't, is he?
No, he's not a baby. He's a toddler.
Not really.
Toddles around, screams, laughs, loves.
Repeat.
That's what you do as a toddler.
Yeah.
I love how I'm just spouting all this nonsense, and you're like off a plane, off of a big weekend. You're like, yeah, man, yeah, yep.
Yep. It's not that different. You still manage to play your games and do some things outside. It's just, you just got some extra love in your life with a couple of little ones to follow you around. But you're right on the Dad Club at House of Mario Discord. That's I think you need some merch or a commemorative T-shirt or something just to get you guys to I don't know, just to come up with something idea. Maybe. Yeah.
But that's the thing though, like I'd love to make a shirt and give to them, but I can't make merch. I can't be like, all right, boys, buy this. That's a bit rough. Be nice to make like there's not that many of us. I guess we could do a little T-shirt. I could get some little custom prints, maybe just 5 or something. A lot of people have like those shirt printers that you can just do at home, just iron on. Maybe that would be the go.
The cry cuts, I think they're called.
Yeah, there's a few of them. So anybody out there's got to do a nice little design for us, the House of Mario Dad Boys. I'll iron on a t-shirt and send them out. Easy. Do you want one, Josh? Do you want to be a House of Mario dad, even though you're not a dad? You're a cat dad.
I'll be I'm a cat dad. If you allow me to be part of the fatherhood for that reason. Otherwise you might be waiting a while. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'll clarify with the boys. We'll
Forever.
see if we'll let you in the club. We'll
Yeah,
see
it's
how
pretty-
exclusive this all is. I'll just run it by the boys, and we'll figure that out, mate. We'll get right back to you, I reckon, on that one. Might take a little while though. I said I'll get right back, but what I meant by right back was probably about a week, maybe a working week. Be about there.
I think it's all right. I think that's all right.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to say, Zach, I still hope I get to see you at PAX this year in October. I know November, I think you mentioned as the date. So hopefully it should be fine. Maybe not too close. Hopefully mid to late November.
That's a good point, yeah.
See him at PAX.
No, it should be. Isn't PAX at the start of October?
Start of October.
Should be good.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking
you
it
should be good.
fine. Yeah.
If you're that early, then yeah.
That'd be fine.
And yeah. Wacko Jacko said it's a no. It's a no from him. So that's a I'm going to vote a no as well. Just to see how nice the other boys will be to get it back. Very nice.
Very good.
Very
Very
beautiful,
good.
mate. What were we talking about? We're talking about Game Boy games, weren't we? With the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy drop. Where are the Game Boy Advance games, Josh? What's going on here? Why are we waiting so long in between each one?
What was the last one? What came out recently? Geez, come on. It has been a little while. I told you last week we were due for an NSO drop, and I was right.
You nailed it. Like when I saw it, I'm like, I thought of you straight away. Like you saying that, I'm like, yeah Jesus.
And there's about every 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, we get stuff. So we need Genesis games. We haven't had a Genesis game in ages. Maximum Velocity for F-Zero. Cool. So that was sometime in April, wasn't it? So don't know. We might see something soonish, I would have thought. Because they got no announced ones that are upcoming, do they, that we know of? I think.
No, we don't.
What do you want to see, obviously, outside of Pokemon? Because we're not going to get that. What realistically do you want?
Well, with Pokemon, I've filled my own want for that. I've gone and put it on every other device apart from my Switch. So if they don't want to give it to me, I'll put it on my phone, I'll put it on my Steam Deck, I'll put it on my ROG Ally, I'll put it on my computer, I'll put it on my Analog Pocket. It's literally fucking everywhere except for the Switch. So good on them for taking so bloody long. I've solved that problem myself. But honestly, it's just Metroid Zero Mission. That's the one I actually want to play it. And after playing Fusion for the first time last year, I was like, all right, I really want to play the other Game Boy Advance one. I'm sure that will come out soon. It's been over a year. I'm just like, all right, I want to play it on Switch because honestly, I want the rewind feature. I want to be able to rewind Metroid. I'm shit at it.
Whatever gets you to play the game, I'll take.
I want to have as least friction as possible when it comes to playing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I get it.
Give me save states and rewind. Otherwise, I would have just played it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that would require me to get good. I'm sure I wouldn't even probably play it and I'll be fine. I don't know. But I've scared myself now. Because even with
you'd be fine. I think
probably
because you played Fusion, I think that's a great first one to do to kind of get how a Metroid game works, and then you kind of go to the other ones from there. I think Zero Mission's the next good one for you to start and enjoy, and sort of get your feet really into it a bit more, and you kind of understand them a bit more over time, and hopefully love them like I do. Then want to play the original NES version of Metroid for just for the fun of it, because that's ideally my plan for you, Drew, to play the originals and experience them that way, and Metroid 2 and on the did you play Metroid 2 on the Game Boy NSO when that dropped last year?
I booted it up and I jumped around.
Booted it up.
I probably I played the 3DS Samus Returns.
Yeah, and the 3DS.
Didn't finish it, but I played enough.
Yeah,
I shot some Metroids. Fun. Yeah, definitely killed at least one or two of them.
Yeah. So no, I'm getting you. You're you're helping me out with my love and trying them out as well. So I'm enjoying that. But what? So we've had before F Zero Maximum Velocity, I was late March. And then we had Golden Sun, both Golden Sun and then the Lost Age Golden Sun mid January. So I think we're probably Jewish for another one. Not for maybe
Jewish.
sometime in
Sorry.
I don't know what to say to that.
We're Jewish for another one. It's like, oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not, but
we're a fucking train wreck tonight. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Sometime in June. We've got to get one in June.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because we're Jewish for one.
We're Jewish. We're Jewish.
Oh my god!
For a Game Boy Advance game on our Switch.
Yeah,
Seth actually made a good little point. He said strike up a trade for Metroid NES for Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yeah, I did do the skit that I was going to play Kid Icarus Uprising. I do need to get onto that because I have not fulfilled my obligation on that.
Well, that's right. That's the whole thing. You know,
it was
since you're the co-host on the show, it's kind of a requirement.
And I do want to play it. There's I just need you to bully me, Drew. That's all, because that's how it works.
There's some gentle bullying. You know, I'll push you over into a puddle. I'll play Kid Icarus Uprising, you little snot bag.
Just casual bullying and harassment to get me to boot it up. That's right. I will. I promise you now. I will play a little bit of it before we talk next week, at least.
Oh, that's a promise. Okay,
put it out there in the. I'm gonna there's people listening. There's people who know the general vicinity of where I live in the world, and that's enough for me to realize I need to. If I say something live and in public, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Kid Icarus Uprising, portable game, obviously on 3DS, chapter based. That's perfect. Just do a chapter or two. See how you go. Report back, and see how you go. It's funny because when it comes to Kid Icarus Uprising, it's one of those things where me being best friends with Bryce, we both love the game. Like, this is an amazing game. Then we sort of look out over the internet. A lot of people oh, this isn't a good game. They either haven't played it or it's not good. And on, say, some other Nintendo podcasts, I was listening to a Nintendo Shack, and I think they had a question saying what was what's a game from 3DS you'd love to see on Switch? I'm like, oh yeah. So I'm like, oh, I've got a good answer for this one. Kid Icarus, it's just it's a no-brainer at this point. You know what I mean? And God,
any other answer is wrong, isn't it, Drew?
Any other answer? Everybody who was saying what's it called? Miitopia. Really want a port of Miitopia from 3DS to Switch. They got that. So why can't I have Kid Icarus? But no, Donnie and Rebecca on that show, they bullied me. I know I encourage bullying from my co-hosts and audience members, but when I'm getting bullied on a podcast I'm listening to, I'm like, hey boys and girl, listen to what I have to say, and they're just continuing on like they can't hear me, like it's a pre-recorded podcast, and they actually have no way of listening to me. It was a bit hard actually.
So what you typed in Kid Icarus Uprising and they didn't acknowledge it? Is that what you're saying?
No. Sorry, I just left this question on Twitter and they just answered it. But okay, I'm going about my day with my headphones in, trying to do a bit of a rebuttal. And so I got a bit of a bullying there. So it's nice to, there's you here, Josh, willing to give it a go. Seth, it's one of his favorite 3DS games, which is great. Great taste.
Oh, it's Sakurai, and it's I'm just fascinated by it because they decided to give that series another shot in the arm, and years after what that Game Boy game comes out after the NES one. So it's really cool. So listening to what you think about it, and then obviously Seth as well, big fans of the game. So bring it on. The fact that you mentioned chapters as well, I think I didn't know that it was chapter based, so that's good to know. That reassures me, but I can just sort of play the chapter and sort of get my feet slowly dipped into it just to see what it's like. So but no, I'm all set up. I got the actual holder as well. I actually bought an edition like I've got one ready to go. So I'll play it the genuine way, and it'll be not frustrating because I don't have the stand to make it hard or anything like that for me.
Yeah. It's actually kind of an interesting opportunity to bring this up, Josh. I know we talk about this in the background, but we do bring up sort of the idea of like wanting to do like a book club type thing for the House of Mario, and this would be actually a kind of cool place to start in some ways. It's a game that not a lot or not everybody's played, so it might be an interesting way to get it. Just maybe whether anybody out there has interest in this type of thing from us, be kind of cool.
I think it's a good
start there.
Especially with
maybe not
your love for it.
Yeah, maybe not like next week or whatever. We'll sort of try and work it out in the Discord type of thing, especially with like Thousand Year Door coming out. We're going to be playing that for the most part, and that is a longer game. That'd be cool. We should jump into that. But Seth here, he says that for him, it's a top 5 Nintendo published game in general. I would have to really like figure out where it sits for me. Could it be in the top 5? Like top 5, that's an interesting sort of list to put together when you really think about like your favorite Nintendo games of all time. It could be there, or it could just miss out. Because I think Kid Icarus Uprising is honestly in my top 10. It just depends on like how many games in my top 10 aren't Nintendo. Because there's like Last of Us, Gravity Rush. There's some of my favorite games in my top 10. But yeah, I would have to really hash that out. That's a tough one. What would be let's try and hash out our top 5 favorite Nintendo published games, because that's something that kind of scares me in some ways. Jesus Christ, that's an ambitious thing to come up with. But I don't know, Tears of the Kingdom's definitely in there for me. Super Mario Galaxy. These are going to be like, kind of boring answers, like, just some of Nintendo's most well-known games. But it will be as Mario, Zelda, and a Pokemon game. It actually could be in the top 5. It really could be.
Wow. Yeah, well, I mean, give it another replay and get your thoughts again on it. Yeah,
I might hate it afterwards. What was I thinking?
No, I love that. Like, like different games appeal to different people, and I think that's really cool. If there's one that hasn't gelled with some people, but someone like they play it and it's their favorite best game ever, and so I don't know. I don't know. I think it just goes to show you can't trust everything you read in a review, what someone says. Don't really judge a book by its cover. I think is effectively the thing to go with, because if you're going to live like that, you're probably going to miss a few gems of games, and I think maybe a lot of people have missed Kid Icarus Uprising for that reason. Maybe.
Was there? This is a question I'm going to put to you, and I'm going to sort of go through my story. But was there a Nintendo franchise you fell in love with because of Super Smash Brothers? And I bring this up because of obviously Kid Icarus, how they completely changed Pit's character design. Sakurai basically took him under his arm and gave him like, the bow and arrow that splits into blades and becomes a staff, and, was used in all of those different moves in Super Smash Brothers. He was given a voice, completely new character. And then from that, he was given his own game. And Pit in Super Smash Brothers Brawl was my favorite game at the time, and probably was Smash Ultimate. I don't know. Nostalgia plays a lot of part in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, but when I found out that my main character in Super Smash Bros. Was getting an actual game with all the story and everything, I was just so excited for it. And then when the reviews came out, I was like, oh man, really? And I played it, and I was kind of like, I don't know what the fuck they're on about. This was amazing. But yeah. I think me going into it with sort of all the negative news and discussion around it might have had my expectations set, and then they were just smashed. Whereas I'm hyping it up probably way too much for you going into it for the first time in 2024, 12 years later. So I'm not sure. I don't want to hype it up too much, even though I have over the course of years.
I've listened to enough of your stuff to know that you've definitely hyped it up for me. Don't worry. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think things are different. Everyone has their own sort of, what they like and don't like about a game. Like Smash Bros has been the reason I've played so many different Nintendo franchises, because, and third party ones, because, that was the reason I wanted to check something out because of it. I think the big one for me is obviously the Mother Earthbound series because you never, there was that weird series that I could never play as a kid in Australia because we never got the release, or um, there was no real easy legal way to play it. Um, Funny how you mentioned like how they changed Pitt's character in Smash Bros with all the different move sets. I mean that's the same thing with Lucas in Smash Bros because I think a lot of his moves are done by like characters. No, I think of Duster with the snake when he uses the rope snake to hang around. I don't think Lucas actually uses that, but it's a thing he's got in the actual game. So
Yeah.
yeah, but that's the fun. You'd sort of like that was me like going through it, like, oh yeah, I know this move, I remember this move, and like yeah, just coming from it from the different angle that you played the characters in Smash Bros. And then actually playing the game. I think some a different way for most people when they discover or like play a Smash Bros. Game. It's because they usually recognize the game first and all the references that way in that order first. So yeah, it's funny where it works out the other way. But no, don't feel too bad about don't want you to feel disappointed if I don't like it or if it's not gonna knock my socks off, so to speak. It's I'm keen to try just to see and try and understand what you feel about it. That's all. And I want to play it as well in general.
Yeah. I'm hoping for a port or a sequel. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. I know. I know I've talked about this so many times. Everyone's like, shut the fuck up. It is what it is. I'm like, if Metopia gets a port over the Switch, I want Kid Icarus. I want it. I don't have many other games where I'm like, I really want this. Like, I've gotten great Zeldas, Mario. We've gotten great Marios. It's time. Like, I really do sort of. Oh, he's got the box. I think I actually don't have the box. I don't know where it's gone. So that disappoints me.
You don't have this? No, you have it. You said you just don't know where it is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where it is, and I've literally cleaned out this room. You can see behind me. That's the bed. That's Lucas's bed, ready to go in. It's going to become his bedroom. So, if I haven't found it during this cleanup, then I'm not finding it unless it's still at my parents somewhere. See, Seth's left some comments. He's like my Kid Icarus Uprising brethren, my brother in arms.
He's been giving me some good tips in the chat as well, so I appreciate him.
Has he? Oh, good. Talking about the controls. Yeah,
yeah.
That's the thing. Like the controls, there. That's what hurts it the most. Just the fact that it's on 3DS without that second stick. Most people complain about the online who haven't played it. Yeah, that's right. Those bloody whinging bastards. That's what people online do a lot though. Like if you see it so much with people. Like Xbox versus PlayStation. It's like you've probably never owned the other console. You've probably never played it, or you just want to, like the local bully at the playground has an Xbox 360. Like, oh, that must be a bad brand, so you just hate it forever. We've all been there. We've all been there. Don't have to carry that into adulthood though. It's all right. Enjoy your video games.
Yeah, it's the console wars are over, everyone. Don't need to fight like that.
No, they're not over. They're just beginning.
Because Nintendo's won. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Nintendo's won. Or have they lost? We'll never know. You may win the battle, but you won't win the war. Don't know what run about. All right, let's get it back to maybe some current games here, Josh. Josh, last week you played Little Kitty Big City. Over the weekend I finished it. Didn't have to do too much more. I hopped around. I ate some fish. I climbed up the building. I got back to where the little cat fell from, and rolled credits. Had a fun time with it. Have you got to play any more of this? Has Michaela been chipping away at it while you've been gone? I know she's a big cat fan as well, since you got your little cat Tifa.
Yeah. You've triggered that because for me, I think last week we talked about it was Sunday night, so it was a bit over a week ago. We'd done one session, and I think it was Michaela's birthday on the Monday, and we played it Monday night again. So we reached the top like you did. So we rolled credits,
Nice.
so effectively finished the game. And then there's a bit of there's stuff you can do in the post game, but we haven't touched it since. So I think it'd be cool to do that. I think it was for us. It was at the stage where we'd pretty well done all the big ticked item things. It was like things like recycle 100 cans, and we'd only done like 15, and so we'd have to like dedicate an entire playing session to get the other 85 cans if we wanted to really realistically do it in a short time. So I think there was some other maybe some things to unlock, another secret area, or something else to do. I'd be keen to do it, but it's pretty quick actually. It was we kind of smashed it out, but I think we really liked it. It was just a short and sweet time. That we've got our little cat called Tifa, and this game's got a big black cat that you follow around, and she was acting a lot like the one we had. So that was very cute. We got our cat loving fix from it for sure.
Yeah. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed the exploration of it, like just trying to
Mm.
discover, when you get the side quests and you need like particular items that you need to bring back, like throughout the whole game, you see certain things like, will I need that? Like when you see somebody first drop the
Yes.
phone, you're like, oh yeah, then you need that for a quest, and it just keeps going. And when I finished the game, I went through one of the fast travel locations. I got to somewhere where I couldn't access normally. I came across this little dog who needed me to find their tennis balls. I'm like, just stuff like that.
Yes.
It's just so
Yeah.
cute
Yeah.
and adorable. And then you find the tennis balls and you get the little, I forgot what it's called now, but you essentially get the little dog mask that you can wear.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That third ball took us ages
it's
to
just so
find.
adorable. Yeah, yeah, because you need like a specific sort of warp to get there. So stuff like that, I think it's just really adorable. A lot of fun, a lot of charm to it, and I really did enjoy it. But I did sign up to this game. Sorry, I did sign up to Game Pass to play this game. I think honestly, if I just bought it for $33, probably wouldn't have felt that content with my purchase. I probably wouldn't have purchased it anyway. To be honest with you, I remember I talked about this last week, Josh, but I when I first saw it, I'm like, it looks adorable, looks fun, but I have played a lot of these indie games where it is like, you're doing checklists, you're marking things off,
Yeah. Yep.
you're just doing that type of thing. And it was on Game Pass, that's why I signed up to it. I'm really glad that I did. I'm glad that I played it, but I probably unfortunately couldn't recommend it for the price it is. It seems like a little bit expensive, and it sucks to say that because so much work goes into these games. It is what it is, and that these developers spend years of their life and all that. But I don't know. It's just it was a little bit of a harder recommendation for me. But I'm glad I played it, and I think anybody that has access to it through Game Pass, or the money doesn't bother you as much because you are a massive cat fan or you're rich or something like that, definitely it's worth your time. It's probably only like a 2 to 4 hour game depending on how much of the collectibles you want to collect.
Mm.
But you bought it on Switch. Did you feel content with spending your $33 and playing through it and just having it as that experience, or not?
Yeah. Like, I did feel a little bit like that. I think because we pre-ordered it, there was a 10% discount. So instead of paying 37 something, we paid 33 something. And so
That's right. It's even
got
more.
that
Yeah.
discount. Yeah, we finished it, and then it was maybe slightly shorter than I was expecting. And I kind of hate that I feel that way in terms of the price and what I got out of it in terms of length. But the more I think about it, like Michaela and I had a really fun 4 hours playing that game. And I remember we had a lot of laughs, we were playing together. So I don't feel bad about it really. And I thought, if we went to the movies twice, we would have spent double the amount on tickets,
Of course, yeah.
having a different time. So I know it's always the values in the eye of the beholder. And I think for me, it was, I don't, the thought in my head came up like, okay, it's a shorter game. I paid this much for it. And that was, you do the whole, this divide by that, you could work it out, blah, blah, blah. But no, for me, I was, I had a really good time with it. So it just definitely depends what you're into. But yeah, I think, even if it came out on a sale somewhat later, I think definitely if you're on the fence about it, maybe wait for a sale. And definitely a fun one to check out in my opinion anyway.
Yeah, and it's not like the game needed to be longer. Like it was a good length. I didn't really need
And
more
there's
from it. I
post
didn't
game stuff
need.
I haven't done yet. So
Yeah, and that's right. You can
Yeah.
stretch more time out of it. It's just I think maybe the whole sort of don't know. It's just maybe I wasn't all that sort of keen to get into it in the first place, but yeah, the price was right with Game Pass, and you know,
What's
at the end of
1
the day,
month
I
of
got
Game
enjoyment
Pass?
out of it. That yeah,
How
good
much
old
is 1
Game
month?
Pass. Oh, how much? I've got
Yeah.
Ultimate, which is Game Pass on PC and Xbox. It's like $19. I think it's
Yeah.
like 12 or something if you just get it on one platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I waited for this month because there's was it Little Kitty Big City. There's another Crab's Treasure. Hellblade 2's coming out. So I sort of like lined up all this stuff. So make it work for me. Make that subscription money work for me. Make sure Xbox doesn't get any profits because we're all getting the games for cheap and they shut down their studios. Let's go.
I was just thinking that this is the issue, isn't it? They don't have people subscribing, like enough people, obviously, but then people in and out. It's a smart thing to do. I don't blame you. I've done it before with like Netflix and things like that. But I suppose if you feel inclined to get rid of it, you're probably not getting value out of it straight away.
Yeah. It's a tricky thing for Xbox to
Yeah.
try and juggle in some ways because, these games, the games they're making, they take so long to make. But with a subscription model, you need to have stuff on the monthly to keep you going. So
Yeah.
it is tricky. I always thought Xbox, they're making big games. Like Hellblade 2 is coming out. It's allegedly about an 8-hour game. I think that's a perfect length for a subscription service. I think they should be doing like an annual Halo campaign that's only like 4 hours long and like just pumping it with like smaller experiences. Because for me, like I don't want to play one massive game over 3 months. I want to play 10 games a month on Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like I want to just, it's like you go to a restaurant and you get like a real nice steak, you spend your money on it, you eat it, beautiful stuff, gobble it down, enjoy it with a nice glass of wine. But then other times you just want to go on all you can eat buffet. You just want a bit of that, a bit of that. You just like, you get a bit over the top. You're like, I'll have some rice, I'll have a bit of pizza, I'll have the salad, I'll just have a bit of everything. And that's what the subscription services should cater towards, I think, instead of being like, hey, look, here's this really expensive game we cannot pay for because the subscription model makes no sense for making these types of games. Instead, like, give us smaller stuff. Like for me, the subscription stuff is all about the indie games, all the interesting indie games that you can play, get different experiences and the stories and the mechanics and everything. They want to show you because, you can, if you want to get like 5 indie games, it does rack up in price a fair bit. Like if you get Little Kitty Big City and you get another Crab's Treasure and another game, that's probably like $100, about $30 each, or I think I think another Crab's Treasure is actually in the 40s. So like it adds up pretty quick.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah.
And then especially sometimes with indies you just don't quite know because you don't. Sadly, it's just the way it is. Sometimes you just don't know who they are, and I think that puts some doubt in some people's minds. So I think that's Game Pass is great for the indie scene. Definitely agree with you on that. I totally agree with you. Like I don't know if PlayStation's doing too much better with frequency because what's their big game this year that's coming out? Really?
Yeah.
Is there anything?
It seems like they don't have any first party stuff from their studios,
No.
but they've been doing a good job with their second party stuff, honestly. You got Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was technically an exclusive. Rise of the Ronin was from Koei Tecmo. They funded that game. So they've had stuff. They had The Last of Us Part 2 remastered at the start of the year. So they've been having a pretty good cadence. It's just obviously hasn't been like that massive like Ghost of Tsushima 2 or Last of Us Part 3 or another God of War game. Like they're at the point where they've sort of fired off their cannons and the other cannons got a little bit more time to reload. Like Naughty Dog's probably got another couple of years left in development of their game, and it's all sort of it's a little bit of a weird climate over in the PlayStation. Yeah, but it's not like there's no games to play. There's always
definitely
so much to play.
There's more sort of first party stuff, I suppose, and the gaps are going to appear now from it. But
it's just the nature of developing such high quality, just expensive
Demanding.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
correct.
it's crazy just how much these games are costing. Like you're a numbers man. We talked about the financials for Nintendo last year, but just like the amount of profits that PlayStation has to reinvest to make their games. So like their actual like gross profit is just it's like half of what Nintendo's is, even though
Mm,
they
yeah.
make like 4 times as much just across like the whole publishing division.
Yeah,
It's
they just
crazy how
have to,
much it
don't they? Their margin's just
yeah.
that much more narrower, and they're just doing sheer quantity to make it scalable, aren't they?
Because
From the sounds of it, I never looked at it properly, the numbers on their side, but it'd be interesting to see how it differs.
yeah, it's like what do they do to get out of that? Do they
Mm,
just say we're making different games? Like they've got a good reputation, which is a good thing, but
mm,
their sort of
yeah,
idea to recoup some of that money is doing like the free to play games, the games of service, the games that make like a lot of money that just like a reoccurring type of just a money pit for players. None of them have really
yeah,
come out. I don't think Helldivers 2 was like a part of that, but it certainly sort of kickstarted the whole thing there. So
yeah.
don't know. Hope they
It's
turn it around. I hope
yeah,
Nintendo doesn't fall into that trap. That's one of my fears with the next Switch. It's just that new hardware will bring new expectations, and Nintendo, as time goes on, they will also fall into that trap. They will eventually have a system with the power of a PlayStation 5 in, not next generation, but the generation after. Will they fall into the same pit as well, or will they hold true to their colors and just have Zelda games be like the big sort of open world experience, and then everything else would be like not as expensive? I don't know. It'd be interesting to
yeah.
see how they manage that and consumers' sort of expectations, because I think a lot of us, we don't need everything to look like real life. We don't need it to every animation to just look 100% unique. I think there is some push and pull between the audience and the people who make the games, but
There's a sweet spot, and
yeah,
I
something
think
something does need to change though. Yeah,
for
sorry.
sure. Yeah, I mean, Furukawa the other week even acknowledged that it's going to get more expensive and more lengthy. So yeah, running into
Oh,
Switch 2 or whatever they're going to call it. So um, they're cognizant of that. I don't know. Just look at it now and just look at Nintendo's output and consistency. And they're going to have stuff later this year. And just Blue Ocean and that, and also being a generation behind in tech has been the godsend for them just to keep it going. I don't know. And the other thing, I think I've been listening to a few other shows, and I think a really interesting point brought up was, Xbox and Sony aren't just gaming companies. They're owned by Microsoft, and Sony, the broader everything that they do. Nintendo's just a gaming company that's now branching out the other way to motion pictures and theme parks, but using the gaming IP as the base. And so um, I think there's different forces there, sort of driving different outcomes. And so I think even being, on top of that, being based in Japan, where it's firing staff is not really a thing that's considered or done or even legal, I believe. And so um, yeah, it just sort of makes you makes you you know everything's going the right way for Nintendo right now. Things definitely weren't the case like that 10 years ago, but yeah, in a great position and well placed for whatever comes next in the next few years for sure.
we'll see how they mess it up. Do you reckon they can mess it up? Like, surely, like they've
Oh
got people
yeah,
like they got
oh
people
yeah,
frothing at. I know they can, but they got people
oh they
frothing at
can.
the mouth. Like, I don't. I think they've
Yeah,
got more than 13 million people. They got more people than bought a Wii U wanting a upgrade to their Switch.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. They
just
do. They
actively,
they do.
actively waiting.
Yeah.
So they can't have a disaster like that again.
Well, it
I
won't
feel
be
like
as
they
bad.
could. Yeah, like surely not. But
Oh, it's not going to
yeah,
sell as many as the OG Switch. Like the Switch, if it gets to 160 mil, it's not going to be a 160 mil seller. Um, yeah,
probably not. Yeah.
like everything from launch lineup to pricing to like their backwards compatibility to the fact maybe third parties don't get on board the way they thought. All those kinds of things could, really make or break how the next one does. the next console. So that they are way too careful and way too considerate and cognizant of that fact this time, that I feel like they will be fine. More of a NES to Super Nintendo situation than the Wii to the Wii U, or um, I don't know. Would they be happy with what the DS to the 3DS, because that was a bit slow at first, but I don't think they'll be better than what the 3DS transition was. I would have thought. Do you think
Yeah.
it will get to 100
It'll
million
be,
this next console?
it's hard to say. I got no idea what it is,
Yeah.
but I mean, as far as transitions go, like the transition between Wii and Wii U, that was nobody liked the Wii. It was like the
It was like a
remnants of
deathbed, no one's
like
playing it.
Nintendo fans who are like, yeah, Skyward Sword, I can't wait. We finally get a Zelda game with motion controls, but everybody else was gone. Everybody was either like, no man, that's a piece of crap, and I just want to play my HD games, my bloody exciting, because Call of Duty and that was popping off, and 360 and PS3 was where that was happening, and I don't know, when they came out saying, hey, look, it's called the Wii U, I'm like, man, this brand does not mean what you think it means. Don't get me wrong, I love the Wii. I loved the Wii. I always enjoyed the Wii, but at the point of like, all right, it's time for a new console, the Wii was like, we want to get away from this, and I think that was loud and clear just from the reception to it. Regardless of the marketing, regardless of the name, regardless of the launch lineup, people were just like, yeah, the Wii, it kind of meant shovelware and dated controls at that point.
And
it
for
didn't
some,
mean
for some
like,
a novelty that got fast, quick for them. The difference is the Switch has got the active user base, which is growing every time. People are locking into this thing, still playing it. Even if the big games aren't coming out this year, there's still games coming out, still big things happening. People are still using it. So, it's looking a lot better than that for sure. So it's all pointing in the right direction for it to be a big success and, carrying on the good times. But I don't know. Just, all it takes is like a Xbox One press conference to ruin a whole generation. So you never know what's ahead for them.
whoa. Yeah, like it would be so fascinating to like, what could Nintendo do to stuff it up that much? Like with Xbox, you're right. Like 360, they had it. They really had it.
Owned it. Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody's like, oh, I can't wait to see what the new Xbox is, and like, oh, I don't know. They completely flopped it. They really did. I can't believe how much they flopped it. It's just,
I hated the name. Did you hate the name? Like
it was a bad name. It was a bad name.
Yeah.
It's especially it's a bad name because you've really got to get the marketing spiel, much like the Wii U, of like what it means. It's like Xbox One. It's like Xbox One. So all right. So what does that mean? It's like, well, it's an all-in-one entertainment system. It plays your movies, games, and all of that. Oh, okay. No worries, Xbox. That sounds thrilling. I can't wait. But it's especially weird because the Xbox 360, the marketing behind that was they didn't want to call it Xbox 2 because compared to PlayStation 3, they thought consumers might have thought that it was inferior.
The one behind. Yeah.
So then the next generation, we'll call it Xbox One. It's like, okay, like that sounds
even further behind. How does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a strange thing. Yeah. It really was. Because I remember looking forward to it because of like, PlayStation, they came out strong. I'm like, oh, PlayStation's back. I was a PS3 user back then. So I moved away from my 360. It's just because I wasn't interested in their staples. I liked Halo, but I played plenty of Halo. So I'm like, all right, I've gotten my use out of the Xbox pretty much. And I was kind of keen to see what the next generation brought, and they were just doubling down on this is the place to play Call of Duty, and you can watch TV and watch cable. And I don't know, a lot of those things they were showing weren't even a thing in Australia. so all right, I don't want the camera. I don't want to connect. Like I've been playing Wii since 2006. I don't want to jump around on the Xbox. That's not what I'm going there for.
The internet requirements with that.
Yeah, the whole
compatible issues and how Sony burnt them in the press conference. It was just everything went wrong.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So I guess Nintendo could do that. They could come out and say, like, what could they do? All right, not backwards compatibility, none whatsoever. There is a brand
Very high
new
price point.
Yeah, high price point. Maybe just rub the salt in the wound as far as backwards compatibility go. Like they'll have like a few Switch games, maybe up-resed to whatever the new system can do. Full price, $70. We will be paying $70 for Nintendo games next generation on American dollars. That translates to like $1,000 here. So that will be happening. That will be a sore spot just for us.
Yeah.
Because it is nice,
Correct.
not spending as much. Because PlayStation games, what they equate to here, like $70 game in the States equates to like a $125 game here. So that's 70. You pay $45 more for a game on PS5 than you do like a first party Nintendo game. So all right.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
Don't really want to pay another $20 or $40 for a Nintendo game, but they're gonna take the advantage of that. So good on them. But no, don't know. There's plenty of things they can do, but
bad name. They could do another bad name. Paul explained they do like a new tablet as the console, which you could use with your existing Joy-Cons, and so people get confused by that. I think they need new Joy-Cons, new controllers. I've heard about Pro Controller compatibility potentially. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
it'd be
they
good
really
to use it. But I also want something new with
I want
new
better
features and stuff.
I'm ready for better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, more ergonomic, bigger, functional, and a bigger tablet with a bigger screen is a positive in my opinion. So
yeah, it's interesting how people want like a bigger screen. I kind of want it to have a smaller one. I want it to be like a 3DS almost. In some ways, I don't know.
I think 8 inches is the sweet spot. Nothing too much more than that.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But how small would you want it then? What is it? Is what 7? Bit over 7 right now with the OLED.
Yeah, I mean, I probably want like a big one for home. Then like I do miss having like a portable. I know the Switch is portable, but like one for your pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm happy with the Switch how it is now though, just like form factor, just cleaned up in some ways, but
yeah,
is what it is. I see Wacko Jacko in the chat. He says, "All right, I'm knocking off. Look forward to the rest of the app when it drops." So I'm just going to let you know, Wacko Jacko. So when you come back to the episode on podcast services such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, this is where you knocked off. Now we start again. All right, that's just for Wacko Jacko, not the rest of the people that listen, just specifically for him.
Great service. That's awesome. And if anyone else wants to have that service, let us know.
Yeah, that's right. I'll just make a chapter for everybody in the live chat if you need to knock off for the night. A bit too late for you.
Yeah, Drew's more than happy to give that a go.
Yeah, and while I'm acknowledging the chat, so I've been looking at it, been trying to work it into the show as well. I see Brian said, "How you lads?" And I was had a little bit of a back and forth in the comments in last week's episode on youtube.com/iDruby. Brian listening to the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Really appreciate it, Brian. That's great. It's great that you're able to leave a comment here live as well. Thank you very much. It's funny, there was a comment here as well, Josh, about being no housekeeping. So I think like an hour and 10 minutes in, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you want to watch the show live, you can see it on youtube.com/iDruby. And if you want to check out the show on podcast services, you're more than welcome. Leave a 5-star review. Really helps out.
Yes.
But anything less than that, just don't bother. Please don't.
Yeah.
A few people have like, you know what? I'll help out. I'll leave a 4-star.
It doesn't help.
You're fucking dead to me. You're dead to me. And that's just what it is. But Josh, do you have anything else to talk about, dude? I'm sure we've got plenty to. We're just sort of rambling this episode because not much has been going on. But we love chatting games. But actually, one thing I wanted to bring up was the Fallout TV show. We finally got around to finally got around to watching it actually last week, and that's why I haven't really played that much because I typically like Luke goes to bed and we watch like a couple of episodes a night. It was quite nice. And do you have any experience with the Fallout video game series? Because personally, for me, I've never touched it in my life. I'm aware of like the iconography and Vault Boy
Yeah.
and the 50s sort of music setting and all of that stuff, just from passively being engrossed in the video game community, but never touched the game. Have you played one?
I played like Fallout 4 for like an hour or so, and that is
Okay.
literally it. So
It's more than
like
me.
yeah,
It's more than me.
it was just one of the free games through your PlayStation Plus, and obviously it didn't gel with enough with me to keep going at the time. I don't know, maybe in between something, but yeah, I'm the same with you. Like I recognized Vault Boy and some of the things, but didn't really know anything beyond that and what the vaults really meant. I knew it was like post-apocalyptic nuclear war stuff, and that was really it. So like not even the characters if they were from the games or things like that. So went into it with a pretty clean slate, really, I reckon, and not knowing what to expect. Yeah, you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so the
Yeah,
TV show, I really did enjoy it,
yeah,
and
cool.
it's interesting because like in Fallout 3 came out in 2008. I remember looking at the game, especially like in the video game releases back then. A lot of the sort of the vibe and the themes a lot of these games were going for, especially like on 360 and PS3, were like the brown, realistic, gritty,
Mm, yeah,
hardcore. Like it was all that type of thing. And Fallout 4 Fallout 3 sort of for me blended into that. The wasteland, it's brown, it's desolate. And looking at the game, I just had no interest in playing it. And I heard a lot of good things about it from friends of mine at school and people online. But yeah, it never grabbed my attention. Fallout 4 never grabbed my
yeah.
attention. Fallout 76 certainly didn't grab my attention. So yeah, I just it's something that I respected and sort of watched other people enjoy from afar. And every now and again, if I decided to give it a go just to figure out what it's all about and just know it better, I looked at screenshots or videos. I'm like, oh no, maybe maybe not. Like an old game, especially Bethesda, who's great at storytelling and role playing and all of that stuff. But when it comes to like the game just running, uh, you know, they're not so well known for that. But
Yeah.
watching the TV show, I had no expectations going into it. But man, I loved it. I was hooked on
Mm,
it. 8 episodes, and there was a few nights where I just snuck in one extra episode just
yeah.
to see where it all goes, and um, sort of getting that Fallout experience, a brand new story, and all that without actually playing the game, and it made me want to go and play a game. So when I've got a bit of a free slate in, I'm gonna go and pick up Fallout 3. I reckon. Play it on
Yeah.
Xbox or PC. So that'll be great. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, Paper Mario and stuff. I'm booked up. I've got appointments.
There's a few things
But
coming up on the horizon, aren't there? Yeah. Yeah.
there certainly are. So it kind of surprised me. I didn't realize Fallout was so like. I didn't realize it was that violent. Like it is so violent. Like
Mm,
there are
yeah,
people
like
like
R-rated, isn't it?
shooting off like. There's a scene where like somebody gets like their foot shot off and then their foot just explodes and there's like
Yeah,
meat
yeah.
hanging off the bone, and especially like with all the sex stuff as well, it's very crude, and it's even crude in a way that makes me like sort of cringe a bit. Cringe in a good way, like it makes me uncomfortable. Like, what the hell? There's a scene like where it's just like panning across like I guess there's one character who's in like it's not the army, but let's just say it's an army. It's like panning across like the dormitory with like all the beds in a row, and like it's just panning
Mm,
across, and like right up front there's a guy under the covers just jacking off.
yeah.
And
Yep.
there's like just like stuff like that
Yep.
everywhere. It's like
Yep.
really crude, and there's bits that make you laugh and make you feel uncomfortable and stuff. I'm like, I didn't realize it was this comedic. So it was really sort of interesting getting that.
Yeah. We kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, we're the same experience. We're like, okay, I just thought it'd be, typical maybe MA, but then like there's some vulgar stuff in there sometimes and like some stuff that surprises you, which is, I think, yeah, cool to see. So I enjoyed it from that point of view. And then we were the same. We just smashed it out over, I reckon, 3 nights. I reckon one of those nights we watched like 4 episodes when we were totally planning just to watch
Yeah.
one, and then we're just like, oh man, this is good. We're just gonna keep going, and so yeah, it's great. And then just seeing where it will end up the next season. I'm not gonna say anything specific here, but yeah, I think
Mm.
there's some real like obviously some like great things they could sort of explore a bit more and go from there. So yeah, and then I just looked into the games a bit more. I didn't realize Bethesda, like, they didn't start the series; they acquired it early on, and this is like a game series in the '90s. It's no, it was really, really fascinating actually, just to see, um, so the journey of the series, and a lot of what's in the first one still remains. You mentioned the iconography; that's like a lot of it's still like the same stuff they used back there. So, um, yeah, pretty amazing after all this time how much of it sort of survived throughout the series, I suppose, throughout the years.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just cool to kind of discover it through this. A lot
Mm,
of people are like massive Fallout fans, and it
yeah.
works. It works really well on a fair few levels. Like if I like, I love The Last of Us. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and the TV series can introduce people to that story, those characters. They can fall
Mm,
in love with it, but it's like a parallel universe to the thing you love. And if they
yeah.
watch that show and they're willing to play a game, they don't really need to play the game. They got the story. They know where Joel and Ellie end up. Um,
Yes.
so, but with this, it's like if you're a massive Fallout fan, this has so much respect for the series, gives you a brand new story. It's pretty much
Mm,
what Fallout 5 would be in a lot of ways. Brand new story, new location, all of that type of stuff.
yeah.
But for people like us as well who haven't played any of the games, we're like, oh, this is a really cool series, and you can go off and experience one of the older stories from
Mm,
like any of the Fallout
yeah,
games.
correct. Yeah.
So it's probably honestly one of the probably the best done adaptation in some ways. Like it isn't just doing the story again in live action, but it is like let's take this world and just everything the series represents and making another one, but in a new medium, which is
Yeah.
really cool. I didn't expect to like it as much, because even when you hear Amazon's doing it, you're like, oh, it could be good, it could be bad. Like they
Yeah,
do
little
they do a
skeptical
lot
at
of
first.
yeah, they do like a lot of great shows, but their game sort of stuff hasn't been all of that all that enticing when it comes to their actual video games. But don't know, man, it's great. Do you feel any sort of desire after watching the show to actually play some of the games, or you're just happy with what you got from the show?
I'd be definitely keen to, yeah, properly play some more Fallout. Like 76 interested me because I've heard some good things.
Mm,
That's eventually like not at
we could play
first, but
that
now it's kind of
together. Ah.
yeah, that'd be a fun one to do. I'd be
Yeah,
keen to give
actually
that a
would be
try with
actually
you.
a lot of fun. I never
Yeah.
actually. I don't know if I wanted my first experience to be like the broken ass piece of crap that came out, but I've heard really good things about it. That people are going
I've
back
heard
to it
it's
and saying, "Oh,
really
it's
good
actually not
now.
too bad."
Yeah.
I don't
So
know if
like,
that's I don't know if that's people just really wishing there was a Fallout 5 instead of, but like, well, they go back to, it's not too bad.
yeah,
It's all right.
yeah.
It gives me what I need. I just gives me exploration and that, but that could actually be fun to play together. But
Mm.
yeah, that'll be
Yeah, and
tricky.
then I think yeah, maybe Fallout 4. I don't know, like bring these to the Switch, I reckon as well. I think maybe the next console. I think it'd be some great ones for um Microsoft now, I suppose, because they to
Yeah,
bring over with
that'll be up to
Bethesda and
Microsoft to be able to sign off on that. Yeah, whether they can go to another platform.
yes. Funny how I don't know. It's just all roads lead to Microsoft at the moment with these kinds of games. But yeah, I'm keen to check it out in some another form because yeah, like you said, like they can explore different vaults, they can explore different periods of the like post the event, and there's so many cool stories they can tell, and means there's effectively like multiple ways they can go about it, and keeps it fresh and new. And um, yeah, because you're correct completely. Why would you like if you really were interested in playing The Last of Us again, but you already knew the story, unless you really wanted to see how the game worked and didn't care so much about the story at that point, there's nothing really there to sort of beyond that to get you to actually give it a go.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's a season 2, so I'm actually really anticipating season 2. It's gonna be.
Mm.
I love where we're at with like these video game adaptations. Like we're in a good spot. Like Fallout is probably gonna make me into like a Fallout fan, which is would have surprised me to tell me like 2 years ago that I'll
Yeah.
become like a
Okay.
Fallout fan. But
Yeah. Yeah.
isn't that cool? Like that's awesome. I
Yeah.
want to
That's
love
great.
as many of
Discovering new things and
these
getting
franchises as
passionate for
possible.
it.
I think
Mm.
I think there's a big chance where I'll play Fallout 3 or 4 and be like, all right, I'll just stick to the TV show. This is a bit too janky, or it's a bit too much quality of life features missing. I can see that happening as well, but maybe just a synopsis of the story would be interesting to me. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how
Oh,
it goes.
don't know if you try it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the video game adaptations are so good. Like The Last of Us, and yeah, Fallout, Mario. There's been a Tomb Raider one announced by Amazon. I'm a big Tomb Raider fan, but the sort of the movies and the all that haven't really nailed it compared to the games. I feel like Crystal Dynamics reboot was fantastic, but I don't know. I'd love to see sort of that spirit in a TV show as well. That'd be great. It might
Yeah.
actually suit it more than a movie. I think just like a TV show, being able to sort
Mm.
of stick around with Lara and uncover some stuff would be cool. When I say uncover, I mean treasures, not herself. Just in case anyone's mind went there.
Oh, never thought to think about that, Drew. Not at all.
That's only
Yeah.
Master Chief who uncovers himself in the Halo TV show.
That's the only one
Uncovers
that's
those
really
cheats.
not worked recently, has it? The Master
Yeah,
Chief Halo stuff they've done. I think it's Paramount, isn't it? But everything else has been pretty cool lately.
yeah,
Yeah. It's at that stage now where there's a big fan base for these games that they want to do these sorts of series, don't they? Like Last of Us now, Fallout. It's yeah, yeah, cool to see. What else they could do eventually to bring, and Nintendo's going to slowly do it as well with what Nintendo Pictures now. They've got a whole sort of new area of the business to sort of make motion pictures or motion based work, and they're going to work with Illumination for more things, and so we've got a bit of stuff with Pokemon, don't we? Pokemon Concierge and the Detective
yeah.
Pikachu
That was
movies.
awesome.
So it's there's some cool things happening.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm actually, I got to be honest, I am actually excited by the live action Zelda movie by Sony. I think
Hey,
I'm a little
okay.
bit, everybody's like, oh, I want it
Yeah.
to be animated.
Yes.
Yes, I can't talk. But honestly, I think Zelda could make a really great live action movie. They just got to do it well, and the set design and the costume design
Mm.
just has to be done right to not look stupid. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully
It
that
could
they
go so
take it
wrong way.
serious. Yeah,
It
it
could
could
go so
go. I
wrong when
hope
it's
they
not
take
done
it
right.
serious. But
Yeah, I got that too.
Miyamoto, he's got his involvement, so hopefully he's aware of what could go wrong. But I think for me, like especially when it comes to like my wife Chantel, if it really bothers me if it's like if it's a cartoon, if it's whatever, she will just not care about it. She watches like all of the Marvel movies with me, Spider-Man
Yeah.
movies, but the animated Spider-Man movies, no interest. I'm like, babe, they're
Yeah.
like
Okay.
some of the.
Wow.
I'm like, there's some of the probably like the best Spider-Man movies. Like honestly, like that second one, sort of the rabbit holes it goes down and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mind
That's
trip
great. Yeah.
and the cliffhanger at the end. You're like, this is incredible. Like
Yeah.
it didn't follow that 3-stage structure where it's like beginning, middle, and end. Like it's just like an amazing roller coaster of just it was beautiful to watch and the story and the characters, and I can't wait for the third movie. But no, she's not interested in watching it. But
Mm.
with Zelda, I'm like, maybe she'll watch that because it would be live action. So
Yeah, and it might have someone in
it
it
could
that
be,
takes a lead role that she's interested in, or she knows from this show or this movie, and
yeah.
yeah, I think that's the other appeal to live action as well.
Mm. It is weird though, because one of my favorite games of all time, Gravity Rush, PlayStation Vita, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Uh, that drew me in because that game has just such beautiful animation and graphics. It's got like a combination of like a French comic art style and anime. Like it looks stunning. I loved it. And Sony are making a Gravity Rush movie, but they're going live action for that one. And that one to me makes no sense. That makes no sense. Like you have like a really unique, beautiful art style, and you're doing it live action. And that's a game about her main superpower is just manipulating gravity and using it to fly. So hope you can pull that one off all right on a green screen, because I don't know, you're making it hard for yourself. I don't know what what the idea is with that one, but
it must be something, the live action ones can just really go off if they go off, because
I think so.
it's for
I think a lot of people
reason, that like Chantel won't watch it because it's animated or live action. So it's a massive roll of the dice, so isn't it? Like determining what the best route to go down is. But I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like video game series, like TV show or otherwise, that have gone down the animated route instead. I'm just thinking live action ones, really, the ones that spark to my mind. And you got the Pokemon stuff we talked about briefly. But that was a mix of Concierge is, animated claymation, very painstaking work. Obviously a Mario movie, but I feel like they're exceptions to what really mainly happens being the live action.
Yeah, I think a lot of people actually probably do feel like, my wife feels like, where it's like, that's for kids, that's animated.
Yeah, I think that's
unfortunately.
Yes. Yep.
Those silly people.
I try to educate. You're missing out.
You got to watch these cartoons, please.
Please.
Grow up. Watch this cartoon with your husband. Oh man, it's all good fun. All good fun.
It is.
Yeah. All right, Josh. Anything else you'd like to talk about before we head off, or is that it?
Keen for Paper Mario 1000 Year Door this Thursday.
Of course.
You got to play Paper Mario,
game coming out. I've been anticipating. This is like my most anticipated game all year.
Yeah, I'm keen for this.
I forgot to talk about it. Yeah,
20-year-old game.
Can't wait for it. We'll be talking about it a fair bit next week, I dare say.
Yeah,
comes out Thursday, which I don't like. I like an extra day to be able to finish the first Paper Mario.
I'm liking it.
I feel like I'm getting a day early.
I get an earlier day to play it now. I'm like my weekend starts earlier now. The feel of it. So I liked Endless Ocean coming out on the Thursday from my one experience of a Thursday release. So I'm keen to I think I'm happy for it to remain Thursdays. Not that I have a say or anything, but I'm happy with it.
Not that you have a say. It's like
I know say at all, but yeah.
Maybe you got the opposite of having a say. Maybe they'll hear it and be like, "Oh, well, Josh likes it. This back the Fridays,"
which I liked as well. So I win either way. Can you imagine a Monday? They'd never do a Monday, obviously, but
disgusting.
What a weird day that'd be.
Yeah, it's like that'd be bad for them as well. Like the marketing team and that's got to like do a bit of prep work on the weekend as well. Be no good for anyone. Or maybe. Like, there'll be plenty of people who work weekends, have Mondays off. They'll be like, oh, bloody beautiful, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Garfield.
Monday.
Garfield, who hates Mondays, be like, no, this just warms my Monday up. Mondays are now good. Nintendo releases come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so, true.
Yeah, true. One way to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's wrap it up. Everybody, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 272. If you like the show, thanks. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate everybody in the live chat, everybody listening on podcast services and on YouTube. Really appreciate your time being in the house. But would you look at the bloody time? It's time to bloody go home. Go back to your wives. Go back to your kids. Go back to your mums, your dads. Maybe just go back to your pillow if it's cold. Because a cold pillow is not too bad, but as long as your cheek warms it up, Warm up your pillow. Keep your cheeks warm. Because the House of Mario, the doors are closed. We'll catch you later.
Bye, everyone.